Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. And today we have a special guest here. We have Crypto Pablo, a famous YouTuber with almost 150K subscribers, which is our guest today. So, hello, Crypto Pablo.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really accustomed to doing the AMA sessions and asking. I'm the person basically who asks the question, and this is probably going to be the first time that I'm being asked questions.
Really?
We'll see how that goes.
Okay, that's amazing, actually. And I think our viewers are just eager to know like who you really are and what's your background in crypto. How did you become this thing in YouTube, and
Okay.
how did you get started with that?
This is an interesting story because this is something that not a lot of people know, and it is kind of like it is going to be an icebreaker for the truth, actually. So people know me by Crypto Pablo. I have more than 150,000 subscribers, around 40 or 50 million plus views across the whole channel. I've partnered with a lot of reputable firms in the crypto industry. I am partnered with the Baby Doge project, and then I'm partnered with a lot of exchanges that we have, BitGet, then I'm not sure about the XC, but there are other major exchanges that I'm partnered with. So I've made more than 1,100 to 1,200 videos about different project reviews. What people don't know is that I was hired by the channel to make videos back in 2019, 2020. And the channel is, still corporate. It's a company owned, and I'm the one who basically makes videos for it. But over the years, when I've made more than 1,200 videos doing research for every project that that was presented to me, doing all the MS sessions, I've basically kind of like gathered all this knowledge. But the channel that I have, the main channel that I have, it's not really the right outlet for my knowledge because, like I said before, it's corporate owned. So I'm there's a lot of restrictions, a lot of filters that I have to go through. But in this session, I think this is going to be my opportunity where I'm not restricted, where I can talk from my own knowledge and not from, not have my sponsors' words with me. So this is a short introduction on who I am, a crypto influencer. And other than that, I'm a voiceover artist. I do commentaries for esports, tournaments and so forth. So yeah, that is what I do. I do a lot of voices for a lot of other channels, and this is among one of the biggest channels that I've worked with.
So you are completely independent by now?
Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. So how's YouTubing doing for you right now? How are you holding up with this crypto winter, actually?
I mean, it is going good. Of course, it's not going as good as it was in the last bull run, because at that point, every video that basically was sponsored that I was talking about, it was going up because it was a bull run. People were really happy. They were really excited. They were making a lot of returns. Now that it's not a bull run, now that there's very less projects that are proceeding and people are making profit through it, of course the overall audience and the narrative that they have is slightly, I would say, disappointed. But that is what the market is doing. When the bull run comes back, it's going to be the same audience that will be praising all these influencers, because every project that they're promoting, that they're talking about, it is going up. So right now, I would say it is a difficult time for all of the influencers that I've seen, all of the YouTubers, because one way or another, it's the same project that makes money for one person. It's the same project that a person is losing money from. So same project is generating both happy and sad and disappointed users. So of course, right now is going to be a difficult time because all those people, they need an outlet. They need someone to blame, and influencers are the person who are in the forefront of every project, of every narrative, every idea. So of course they get blamed a lot, which is I would say the most difficult thing to do about this job, because even though I personally say in the video that it's not a financial advice. I don't get paid if people invest in that project, so make sure that you do your research, do your everything. But still, if people lose their money, of course they're gonna come angry, even though it's the project that actually failed, and not the influencer. But if the project, they just run off. You have no contact with the team, but influencers are still there. Their channels are still there. So they get all the heat from what the project did. So I would say it is a pretty difficult job. And it is really, difficult to hold your reputation in this industry.
That's really interesting, actually, job in this perspective. And really, I don't know, I think maybe what's it called? Maybe futuristic in some way, because I think the future is actually for this niche, for these YouTubers, for those who promote that, and this all keeps crypto afloat and going up.
Absolutely.
Okay, so maybe we went too far actually with crypto in this introduction. For those who just don't know what actually crypto is, let's start with the basic questions first, like what are the main advantages of using crypto over traditional like fiat currencies?
Okay, that is one of the most, I would say, a basic question, and one of the most important question. And those who are new, who are already in this industry, pretty much knows about this. But who are getting new in this industry, new in crypto, they won't know what is the difference. So the fiat currency is something that we use. That is something that is moderated and regulated by the banks, the central banks that we have. Cryptocurrency is something different. This is, I would say, naturally and ideally decentralized. Which provides more benefits to users in terms of security, in terms of transparency, and if you talk about the the borderless transactions, cryptocurrency is not bound by any border. So we have seen a lot of utilities for this. When people wanted to donate to Ukraine in time of crisis, but they did not have any means to actually send the money over there. There's a lot of restrictions, a lot of barriers, a lot of regulations, and they wanted to donate to the Ukrainian to cope with what they're going through. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, that was their way out. That is how people started donating. That is how they donated to people in Ukraine and helped them out. There was millions of dollars that went to donation to them. That, I think, it made a mark in the world for the utility of the cryptocurrencies, that it is not bound, and that is why it is needed. In a lot of places, you cannot send money in that where the the fiat currencies end. They're regulated. They're basically restricted. That is where cryptocurrencies come in. There's a lot of other benefits that we have. Fiat currency, you cannot track the fiat currencies. If you have a company who's dealing with fiat currencies, you cannot track them down. You don't know what they're doing. But if that same company is on the blockchain and they're dealing with the cryptocurrencies, you have access to all the records, all the transactions. You can see where the money is flowing to, and you can easily capture if anything is going wrong. So I would say it is more secure, it is more transparent, and it is not bound by the borders. And then we have the other thing, that it offers people investment opportunities, and people make a lot of profits, which is not something that it is something that you do in the fiat currencies, but the margin of profit there is really, really less. In crypto, that margin can be really high. It made millionaires. So that is, I think, the main advantages that we have of cryptocurrencies over the fiat currencies.
Mm-hmm. So basically, in a nutshell, it's like breaking down all the boundaries between countries and like make it all like a flat ground for everybody to just go and exchange some value of the crypto over blockchain, right?
Yeah.
And speaking about investments that you mentioned, actually, what factors do you consider when evaluating the potential of a crypto investment?
So this is something that I personally do a lot. It's the same process that I do whenever there's a project presented to me to promote, or to, basically, whenever there's any sponsor that comes to us and they're presented with this, okay, this is my project that I want to promote. I want you to promote it. But of course, the team is not going to blindly accept any sponsor. They want to, make sure that it is the right project. It is going to benefit people. It is safe. It is secure. It is going to make returns, which is the same thing that an investor do. So I've done this a lot of the times, and the process that is included in it, again, it's the same process. If you're evaluating a cryptocurrency, for whether you want to invest in it or not, you have to consider the technology that is behind that project that is backing it. You have to talk about their, you have to consider their use cases, if it's going to get utilized or not, in which, what utility does it have, the utility that the project is providing for the token. Is that something that people need? Is it something innovative? Are there any other alternatives to that utility? Because if there are, people, of course, not going to be using that. They're going to use something that is much better than that. So you have to carefully consider the use case. Just ask yourself if that is something you personally would want to use. And if you say yes, that is something you want to use, of course, others would want to use that as well. That is a utility that will increase the demand for the token, and eventually, with more demand, that eventually increases value of the token. Then we have to talk about the team's expertise. I've seen a lot of great projects, but eventually the team is the one that already has made a lot of failed projects, or they have rug pulled from a project, and now they're just hiding behind the project. So the team, talking about their reputation and their expertise, that is really important. You have to talk about the market demand, how the market is performing, adoption, which is again same thing as we talked about for the demand for the token, for the use case. You have to talk about the competition. You have to consider the tokenomics carefully. You have to talk about the allocations. You have to consider the allocation for each of the tokens. And after all these things, there's other things that you can also check, like their partnerships. Are they partnering with reputable firms, or are they partnering with shady firms? That is, another key factor. And you have to consider the overall community that is behind that project. If there are any red flags, when you're evaluating all this, you will see them, very boldly. You will see them, and you can easily tell if that's the right one for you or not. So these are some factors that I consider when evaluating a project, when I'm sponsoring it or making a video on it. And it's the same process that users should be evaluating before they are going to invest in a project.
So in a nutshell, it's like first it's your personal interest, then goes like team, white paper, all that stuff that comes behind the project. And third it's like partners, like who they're partnered with. And lastly, it is all about the community, because it drives the project.
Exactly. Yeah.
So 4 steps in your opinion.
Yeah.
Okay. So actually, can you share some of your most successful crypto investments using that strategy, and what led to their success?
Okay. So this is going to be, well, it's slightly funny and maybe a little bit shocking, but I'm currently residing in has not legalized crypto yet. They did not make it illegal, but they have said that we have not legalized it yet. So refrain from trading with crypto. That means I can trade with crypto. I can buy cryptocurrencies, but whichever earnings that I have, I cannot withdraw them to my bank. That means I cannot use them in my country. Of course, I can still trade. I can, buy tokens. I have my team who sometimes provide me with some cryptocurrencies as payment, and I'm easily allowed to buy cryptocurrencies with it, and I do it for fun. I know I cannot withdraw any money from it, but I still do it for the fun of it, and to test things out. And I have done these things in the past. My team is the one that actually has made their own portfolio. They have a lot of their earnings in different cryptocurrencies, and they have made decent profits with it. So if I talk about my team, I think the major portion of their portfolio is Litecoin, which in start was kind of surprising for me as well, because it was like, why not Bitcoin? Why not Ethereum? Why are you going with Litecoin? Because we haven't seen a lot of people talking about Litecoin, but they eventually made a lot of profits through it. And I was just looking at the coin market cap for the Litecoin, and it's pretty interesting. So it was trading back in 2017, and up until 2018, it was trading at $3.96 or $4. In 2018, it went up to about $300, and then it went back down. This is where from $4 to $300, you can just imagine how much money, how much profit people would have made at this point. But it came back down. It became accessible to people once again, because it became cheap. So it's like that gave people another opportunity to buy it, and it came back down to $25. Then it went back up to $135. Again, people made a lot of profit. It went back down one more time to about like I think $30 or $40, and then it went back up to $356, around like $400. In more, in so many occasions, it made so much profit, people, and that proved that this is a cryptocurrency worth considering, because when the bull run arrives, it's going back up. Right now it's at $60. When the bull run arrives again, this has I would say the biggest potential to go back up again, because we know that it has proved itself to do it again and again. So, that is why the team is holding it, as major part of their portfolio. Personally, and they also have Cardano as well, which I think is another success story. My personal one, which is a pretty interesting one, was a token called Pig token, and that was sponsored back in 2021. That token made 6,000x. After I uploaded the video, it went up 6,000x. The team was excited. They were really hyped, like, how the hell did we do it? Because the token did not have any utility. It was a meme token, no utility whatsoever, just a token that is thrown out there, just some tokenomics and whatsoever. And it made 6,000x without any utility. Of course, the team behind it was really legitimate. It was safe. It was reputable. And they made it, for fun. And it went up 6,000x, and I bought like a few of it, and that was I would say personally my success story in crypto investments. And when I eventually move to another country where it is legalized, of course, that is when I'm going to develop my whole portfolio.
Interesting. That's a really nice story that you're making. So much money off one project. Something reminds me of like Shiba Inu or something like that. Just started off like a meme coin and then grew into like an ecosystem or something. Well, maybe
exactly
that we'll see one day. Maybe not, but who knows? That's crypto, actually.
Yeah.
And basically, how do you research projects that you contact, you keep in contact with, and like maybe team once approaches you? What do you respond to them?
Okay. First of all, whenever right now, I'm not talking as an investor that I invest in projects, because I actually would not consider myself as an investor, but as an influencer. When I'm reached out,
from influencer perspective, maybe.
When I'm reached out by projects, and they have basically confirmed the deal that okay, I am going to do a video for them. The first thing that I do is I ask them to give me all the documents. All the paperwork that you have, just send it over. That you can, if it's not confidential, just send it over. Audit reports, you have the white papers, other PDFs, marketing strategies, pitch deck, whatsoever, whichever that you use to dazzle the investors, just give it to me. So the white paper and these documents, when you thoroughly go through the studies, study them deeply, you understand all the important points and everything else, and that it takes hours to study all these documents. And my whole job is to not have other people do the same thing that I did. Instead, they can just watch the 10-minute video and have all that in it. That's my whole job.
Are you doing that alone? On your own?
What?
Are you
I
doing
do it
that
on my
alone?
own. Yeah, I do it all alone. So the team that I have, they're like marketers and others. I'm the one that does all the studies and research, and I work with I came up with the strategies and marketing strategies for the project. I studied their market and so forth. So that is basically all on me so far. I'm not sure if maybe we'll end up hiring someone for it, but right now I'm able to do it, and I'm happy to do it, and it only increases my knowledge further and further. So reading all through those documents is good. For an investor point of view, I think white paper is going to be enough. You can just read through the white paper. I think that is more than enough. Then again, as I said before, you have to consider the team's background, and if they're not putting their reputation out there, if they're not putting their identities out there, it does make the project a little bit shady. So I would say do refrain from those, and consider those in which the team is putting themselves out there, because no one would put their reputation online for something that they don't believe in. So it makes it more secure if you know who the team behind it is, their expertise, their occupation, their past experiences, and so forth. So have a check on the team's background, their previous experiences. One of the important things I look for is the community that is backing the project, the token, because that is really strong. They're the one who makes a narrative. If a project has a strong team behind it, I think that changes everything. Because as a person, my words will have more influence on my friend than he would have on any other influencer out there. So this relation that I have, the peer-to-peer relation that I have with my friends, he will believe me with what I say. So in community, that is what you have. People are inviting other people, their friends and family and so forth, and that is what grows the whole community. So I think that is that is really important to consider in a project. And then you have to you evaluate the project's roadmap, what they have planned so far. In the roadmap, check out what they said before, and have they done what they promised. If they have done what they promised, that is sort of like a guarantee that the things that they're saying afterwards, they will complete those things too. So the roadmap is important. Then again, the partnerships, look at the partnerships, if they're reputable or not, if they're safe or not, and check out the competitive landscape, which is a crucial thing. And the again, the utility, you have to consider that factor as well. So these are the things that I consider before when I'm analyzing the team, when I'm analyzing the project. And it is much better that when I talk to the team face to face. Most of the time before making a video, I talk to the team face to face. And
do you connect with them through the video call, or you just
through video calls?
Oh yeah.
Through video calls, that when we're making a deal, I most of the times when they ask me to, or sometimes when I need to, because if the project is really complicated, if I think there's some questions that I need answers to, and if there are a lot of them, then we arrange a meeting. I answer them questions. They provide me with all the reports, their audit reports, what they have planned, out of the records, not that is on record. On the video call, they disclose things that they have off record. So that is one of the biggest things that I make sure to do when I'm analyzing the team and when I'm analyzing a project.
So that's actually really nice. How do you communicate with these projects, and how it's all under under people's side, that was coming behind these whole video making process. And right now, let's talk about market actually. So in your opinion, when will the market go up eventually?
Okay, so of course,
no, not financial advice, but in your opinion.
Yeah, of course. Everyone wants to know, when is the market going up? And I don't think there's anyone that can give a certain answer to this. I would be wrong if I say I'm 100% sure that this is going to go up at this stage. Of course, we are going to speculate. We're going to have reasons why we're speculating when it is going up. In my case, I made a video. I don't think it's up yet, but we talked about Bitcoin halving. This is one of the events that I think is going to, again, I think it is going to trigger an upward price action for Bitcoin, but also, the Bitcoin is the big daddy for the cryptocurrency market. So when it goes up, eventually, I think the whole market is going to go up. So Bitcoin halving, I think that is in 2024. That is when I think it is going to go up. Of course, there are a lot of other factors that we have to consider. We have the whole XRP case that we have. Then we have a lot of other, the FTX case hearings and so forth, and the SEC case. So there's a lot of things in the that are happening right now that alter the course of the whole industry. But if, let's say, we put the cryptocurrency in a vacuum and remove all these other factors that we have, I would call them as macroeconomic trends that we have, and we remove all the other factors of adoption and regulation. If we see what happened in the Bitcoin halving in 2016, that triggered an upward price action for the Bitcoin in 2017, 2018. And then the next pump was in the 2020 Bitcoin halving. And that is when the Bitcoin went up to about $64,000, $65,000. Now, it may go up because maybe not because Bitcoin halving, but because people are speculating that it is going to go. And that speculation in crypto is really, really, I would say, it has one of the biggest influence.
And people believe.
Yeah, exactly. If there are, let's say, 100 people that are saying this project is going to pump 100x, eventually it is going to, because other people will believe these 100 people that eventually invest into it, eventually that is going up. So speculation plays an important role in this. And a lot of people are speculating that the next Bitcoin halving, like I'm saying right now, and people will be hearing this, that the next Bitcoin halving is going to trigger an upward price action. Let's buy the bags, let's buy Bitcoin right now. They eventually start buying it, and that eventually it is going to go up. And if these macroeconomic trends that we have, like the cases that we have, the restrictions, the regulations, if they do not play a role, which eventually they are going to play a role, but it depends on what extent. If they do not play the role in it, eventually it is going to be a definite upward price action for Bitcoin. But like I said, there is no definitive answer to this. So you have to, all of you guys who are watching, you have to take a close look on the macroeconomic trends that we have, all the cases that we have. There's a lot of, I'm going to tell you guys about the sources as well on where I get my news and everything else. But you have to keep a close eye on what is happening with the market, all these cases that are happening, all the regulations and so forth. Eventually, I think we are, when we go through all these phases, eventually the whole world, the centralized entities, the government entities, they are going to realize that they cannot fully regulate or control cryptocurrencies. And when they give up, they're eventually going to, I think they're going to adopt it, because they're not going to have any other way. When they cannot fight it, they do eventually have to join us. And when they do, that is when it's going to lead to adoption for cryptocurrencies. Eventually, Bitcoin will receive adoption in major companies and a lot of different places. That is when it genuinely is going to go up. So yeah, that is my take on when will the market go up.
Yeah, people say that the modern world is like demanding crypto to be in this train, like with all AI thing going on. I think crypto will come along eventually. Okay, so would you say that this is the perfect time to stay informed about the crypto market? And
absolutely. I just mentioned so many cases that we have ongoing. Before, we just had the FTX case. Right now we have the FTX case, the hearings and the issues that are being faced in the jury, because the juror, they do not know enough about the cryptocurrencies. So how can they proceed with the case when the juror does not even know about the what cryptocurrencies are? And it's not a small topic. It takes a lot of time to learn it. So we have the FTX case hearing, then we have the XRP case, the SEC case. There's like so much thing, going on right now. So I think this is the biggest, and the most crucial times that we have for cryptocurrency.
Actually, what resources and tools do you use to be informed about the crypto market?
The first one, the most important one that I would say, is CoinMarketCap. Of course, people have their own preferences, but I use CoinMarketCap because not only do we get to see all the price movements of the major cryptocurrencies in the first page, then we have all the articles that are being published and so forth. So my first source is CoinMarketCap because I look for sources that are objective, and that is one of the biggest sources that we have. Then I look for news articles from reputable sources that are not sponsored. Then influencers, who are really known and popular for keeping a fine line between sponsored words and their own opinion. And then there's a lot of cryptocurrency related channels that we have on crypto, like Crypto Banter and so forth. So these are my sources. And another one is networking. Since I, as I mentioned, I talk to a lot of people on the video calls, so I have a lot of relation and I have a lot of friends who, from the projects that I have worked with. And they have kind of like the most of the inside information about what is happening with the cryptocurrency market, and they're always up to date on what is happening. And if there's any major thing that is happening, just like hit me up with it. This has just happened. This has happened. So networking, I would say, is one of the biggest sources that I would say I have in to get the most recent and updated information about the market.
Yeah, it's all about the community.
Yeah.
And a good community. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, my last question for today would be maybe regarding the beginners. So what advice do you have for someone who's getting started with crypto and crypto investment with all this thing?
Okay. So this question, again, I think an investor is going to answer it much better. But I interviewed a very successful trader called Calvin Wade, who does this for a living, who trades with cryptocurrencies for a living. So, and there's billionaires who also gave their advice for what they think the beginners should do. First of all, you have to accept that you're going to lose money when you get into it. There's no way around. You may have
exactly.
beginner's luck, but eventually you are going to lose. So just accept it that you're going to lose money in the start, and you're going to learn how you lost it. And that is how you're going to proceed. So always, invest money that you can afford to lose. You just invest into it, just forget about it. That's the money that you should be investing into it in the start. Then when you lose, eventually learn what mistakes you made. Of course, right now we have all these courses, we have all these people like we're talking right now. You can hear to these people their past experiences, so that you don't have to repeat the same mistakes that they did. So knowledge, I would say, is the biggest thing. That is going to, of course, it still never is going to be 100% certain that you're going to make a profit. It never is. This is not the market that we're dealing with. If people lose money in stock market, people lose money in fiat currencies, we're talking about cryptocurrencies. They're really volatile. Of course, it presents us with a high margin of profit, but also it has we have high risk in it. So you have to learn through, by gaining knowledge. You have to do proper risk management. You have to learn from your mistakes. You have to keep yourself informed, do proper research on everything that you have. We already have talked about the things that you need to do to evaluate if a crypto investment is good or not. Consider all these factors, and then you can make the right decision. And I would say the sentiment, the emotions, that they play important role. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss out on crucial decisions because you're maybe too scared to lose the money. You already are losing money and you just withdraw at that time. So you have to, keep a check and control on your emotions. And a lot of the times,
that's right,
when a cryptocurrency goes up, it goes down, you feel depressed that I'm losing money. Eventually, it goes back up again. There's the same cryptocurrency that has reached the same price point more than once. So even if it's going down, if you truly believe in the project, just stick with that. Eventually, it is going to come back and it will go even further from where it was before. So I would say in this case, knowledge is the biggest power. Keep yourself informed. That is the best you can do. Eventually you're going to learn the most from your own mistakes.
Of course, your own experience was the most treasured thing than any other sport.
You can listen to a person's 1 hour TED talk, but still the biggest lesson that you will be learning is when you do the mistake and you face the consequence. That is when you're going to learn, and that is when you're going to act on it. Just don't be afraid to make mistake. Just in the start, when you do make mistake, make sure that the mistake is small. You're not losing a lot of money in it. Just take $100, $200, invest into it, diversify your portfolio. That is one of my biggest advice. Do not keep all your eggs in one basket. Just spread them so that even if a few of them breaks, you still have most of them. Now that it's concluded.
So make mistakes, embrace mistakes, but don't make huge mistakes. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so I think that's the perfect ending point for our talk. Yeah. Okay, so that was pretty amazing. Thank you, Nisar Hussain.
Thank you so much
aka
for
Crypto
having
Pablo for this talk. I think it was really amazing to have you on this channel. And I think we went through a lot of questions. Well, I think I've missed couple, but anyways, you've answered all of them that I had on the list. So that's amazing.
Even if there's question missed, or if the viewers out there who is watching, if you have any question, of course you can ask me in the in the comment section, and I'll make sure to answer the question over there.
Okay, so thank you for coming. See you around.
Thank you for having me. Take care.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.